One thing that we did for the collector's edition was create an art of book. It's got all of the artwork leading up to our current game, Age of Empires 3. It's got a little bit of Age 1 and 2.
We wanted a coffee table book that was just like, not a lot of text, just lots of pictures, lots of color.
It's not for gamers only. It's a book that basically anybody can open up, look at, and appreciate the artwork.
There are a lot of artists in this company, and not all of them are in the art department. I work pretty closely with the artists a lot when I'm working on in-game cinematics, which we call IGCs. Doing these IGCs is kind of like making moving screenshots. You want everything to look as beautiful as it can. One of the best things about being one of the only girls in a company full of guys is that I don't have to share the bathroom with anybody. I like to see guys spar with one another.
Larry, if you rush one more time before we're ready, this is gonna be it.
You're a wuss, dude. Okay, go for it then.
Oh, he man!
Sometimes I take part, but mostly they try to mind their P's and Q's around me.
The women we do have do a really good job at balancing our culture. And they serve, aside from their intellects and their talent and creativity, they do add a certain balance to the company that's necessary.
I think our game is really fantastic, and I know a lot of my friends who are also women love the game too.
Obviously we wanted to sell 1 billion copies and that's all to be treated like geniuses, right? But way more important to us is that the people we respect tell us, wow, that was an awesome game you did. You know, and like my kids are gonna play it. I want them to play it for a long time and say, good game, Dad.
Since games have very passionate followers, typically a group of those will decide that they want to be super followers. They want to really engage the other players of the game as well as the developers and the publishers. So they'll create an internet site and they'll put information out there. They'll have contests. They'll have forums where people can interact. They invite the developers to participate, and really it's a way for ourselves to be closer to our customer base.
A lot of companies are starting to kind of experiment with what gameplay is, what video games are, which I think is great because there are a lot of companies that take safe bets and work on things that everybody has done before.
I guess the challenge nowadays is to not sit on your laurels.
One of the rules that we have in Ensemble is the developer can't have more fun than the player. You know, I could have a lot more fun with AI that was fun to write, that wasn't necessarily so much fun to play.
I think the secret, in my view, is creating what we call interesting decisions, a series of interesting decisions. So that you make a decision, that opens up the door to a couple more, you take one of those, and that opens up more to more, and next thing you know, lots of time has passed, you're very entertained, you don't maybe think of it as entertained, but you're just totally and mentally engaged.
As you play the game, you're going to notice things that are just subtle. You'll see the water and how realistic that looks.
If I was to pick any one single thing that I'm probably most happy with in Age 3, it's the graphics.
The graphics are just phenomenal. I say that immediately straight away because that's the thing that really smacks you in the face.
Age of Empires 3 uses a brand new physics system called Havoc to simulate many things like building destruction.
Each civilization has a set of buildings, houses and town centers and barracks and stables and whatnot. And every one of those buildings need to blow up naturally, so they could blow up when cannonballs hit them.
Lighting was one of the issues that we really took seriously. We looked at how ILM, for example, does their tone mapping, and we tried to emulate that in our shaders. It gives us a higher dynamic range as far as the lighting is concerned.
We use an iterative process where I call it design by playing. We play it, test it, adjust it.
Everybody in the company, every week, they play test the game at least once.
Everybody is required to play test. Playtesting is something that we take very seriously.
What's wrong? My cows aren't getting fat fast enough.
And we call it playtest, and you have to run out of your office to go to the playtest area to get a seat.
We have 16 machines in here, and there'll be 16 people in here Monday through Friday, starting at 4 o'clock.
You wouldn't have a dude running around with a gas light?
It's static.
Combat seems really unresponsive.
Yeah. I can't figure out why the Russians are so far behind.
We probably had enough features in this game at one time to make 10 or 11 different kind of games. We just kept wanting to try different features to see if we could take old systems and make them fun in different ways. So we tried hundreds and hundreds of different ideas. Very few of them worked. We had Secrets of the New World. These were like, you would find the Fountain of Youth or the Seven Cities of Gold or something like that. It just felt too magical. We'd done something similar in Age of Mythology, and we knew it was a cool vibe that we wanted to capture, but it just That didn't work. We used to have early fighting in the game. You'd start with an army, you'd run around and immediately beat on the other player in the first like 30 seconds of the game, but it really sucked to like lose your army and all your dudes within a minute of starting the game. So got rid of that too. There's probably 1,000 of these things that we tried and failed.
We're setting up for a usability test. That's when we bring in people from outside and let them play the game. We watch them on the monitors and through the two-way mirror that's behind me. We bring in friends, people we meet in Best Buy, people who just call me up and say that they want to test. We find people from all over.
I'm confused about this town center.